And we are live. Welcome back to the channel. It is Chosen Wisdom Football, a channel for the football purists, the critical thinkers, the deep thinkers, the Manchester United fans who like to use their brains. This is a community for you. I hope everyone's having a great day. This is, of course, your latest Manchester United news and headlines all in one place, so you don't have to do all the work to get the information. I have it all here for you. I have looked all over the internet, all over the place for the juicy conversations, the headlines, the topics, the Manchester United talking points. I hope everyone's good. Big up the community, big up the chat. It is Wednesday evening, your 7:15 p.m. show, and on today's show, guys, we are going to cover Wilcox and Amorim apparently have spoken about adapting the system. So we are going to get into that news. We're also going to talk about the staff that have been told to stop leaking behind the scenes footage. What does that mean? What is that all about? We're going to get into that story. Guys, we've also received notification. We received news that Ruby, your favorite jewel, has asked the squad to vote on bringing Malacia back. Very, very interesting. Why does the squad need to vote on bringing Malacia back? Yes, guys, we're also going to talk about the players who believe, apparently the Man United players believe that we can get Champions League football this year. Do you believe that we can get Champions League football this year? Let me know, guys. That's one of the topics we are going to discuss. I think we also spoke a few months ago, maybe even a month ago, about Tuanzebe and the medical negligence case that he is going to bring against Manchester United, the lawsuit. We have updates, guys, on Tuanzebe and what he's trying to do with the medical negligence lawsuit. Also, guys, we're going to quickly cover news about Casemiro. We've spoken about this. We've covered it a few times, but once again, it's resurfaced. It's International Week, so it will resurface. Is Casemiro going to get a new contract, guys? Forest also informed United interest about Anderson and Gallagher. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen other content creators talk about Anderson and Gallagher and the potential fee. The potential fee for Anderson. Jesus Christ. Yeah. It is very interesting. I believe everybody's £100 million now. No matter how good you are, you're £100 million just because Man United are coming for you. Just because Manchester United want you, you will automatically be worth £100 million. So we're going to get into that as well. And also a bit of conversation about Dalot's mentality. So we got Wilcox and Amorim staff being told to stop leaking stuff. Ruby and the vote with regards to Malacia. The squad and the Champions League ambitions. Tuanzebe and the legal stuff. The Anderson and Gallagher on loan conversations, as well as the lit stuff. So we got a few things to get through, as usual, as we always do. We're going to run through all the news so you guys have all the information. You guys know what the hell is going on as Man United fans. So big up the chat as usual. Turkish in the building. I can see that TK is in the building. Big up TK. Someone say juicy. Big up T Kizzle in the bizzle. Sausage Express. I ain't seen sausage for a hot minute, bro. You know, where's the bacon? Big up Sausage. I hope you're doing well, my guy. Been around, mate. How's everyone feeling on United season? Says Sausage. Make sure you interact. Start the conversation with Sausage, with TK. Big up the chat. Big up everybody. Like I said, Sausage, I feel like I ain't seen you in a minute, bro. I hope you're feeling well, my guy. Anyway, let's breeze through it. System and adaptations. We have heard this manager come out many, many times saying that he's not going to change anything. He will never change anything. His ego and his pride is attached to his system and his philosophy to the point where I believe it can be detrimental. And I've always said to you guys, I've always said to the community, any football fan, and I think you guys will agree that adapting and being flexible as a manager is paramount. It is essential, not just as a manager of a football team, but just a manager of a company, a manager of any team. Your manager at work needs to be flexible because you are a human being. Football is forever changing. Next season will be a different season. Maybe it won't be as physical. Maybe you won't have to win by scoring from corners all the time. Maybe next season won't be a set piece season. Maybe it will go back to being a more normal footballing season. You don't know. Football changes constantly. You have to always adapt. So to hear our manager keeps saying that he's going to stick, he's not going to change, and all these things is very, very disheartening from my perspective. From my perspective. So we will read this news. We will see what's going on if I can use my eyes at this moment, if people can be responsible. Anyway, Jason Wilcox, who rose from technical director to director of football over the past year, has held discussions with Amorim on the formation. Amorim has said his system will evolve over time when he is ready, and he has laid out his team in a 4-3-3 for parts of some sessions. But this is mainly to embed understanding for certain phases of play during matches. It's very, very interesting here when we got this whole change in the system and whatnot. I feel that our focus on the system has created an environment where our manager has doubled down on stuff because he believes us criticizing the system is us criticizing him. He's attached himself to the system. So now he believes, and just my opinion, that if he changes in any way, if he adapts himself in any way, I think he believes he's losing or he's lost something. He's lost some sort of battle against maybe the media, against something. I feel like stubbornness and pride and ego is something that consumes most managers, but especially these modern managers that believe that they've invented something new, that they're playing a brand of football that no one else has seen, that they're special. Their pride and their egos attached to the way that they play. And I believe Amorim suffers from this. What we're going to see from Amorim is no new invention of anything. He's not inventing the wheel. He's playing a 3-4-2-1 system that we've seen many, many times. And he's not doing, in my opinion, not implementing it that well. I think Glasner implements the same system much better. So that is what it is. Let me know how you feel about this. What does this mean to you? What does it mean that now Laurie Whitwell, a journalist, is coming out because clearly someone's fed him this information. Someone's told him something. Manchester United feel that it's beneficial for them to give Laurie Whitwell this information and for him to put it out in the open. So my question to you will be, as usual on this channel, why am Man United putting it out there? What is the aim? What is the purpose? Is it to brainwash us? Is it just PR? What's the purpose of this tweet that's clearly come from Manchester United? Is it supposed to give us the idea that, do you know what? Everybody calm down. He will evolve over time. So relax. Is that the point of this tweet that's being directed from Manchester United to Laurie Whitwell? So, for further context, Indicalia reported on something similar to this early on in the season, September, saying that formation request and sacked. According to sources, Ruben Amorim was called in by the bosses for urgent meeting. The manager has been asked to change the formation to 4-3-3, and Ruben Amorim was left speechless with the formation request. Certain United officials believe the manager is to get sacked, is now when and not if. So That was back then. This was September, and it was reported by Indicalia. And I know some of you guys don't trust Indicalia, including myself. You have to take it, of course, with how much pinches of salt you can take anything with. You know, don't consume too much salt. But it's been spoken about. We have spoken about his lack of flexibility many times. So now, international break, not a lot of news. So the gap has to be filled with news, with stuff, as we do. What does this now mean? Why is it getting out now? Anyway, let me know, guys. Just talking points for the chat about this. If you care about this, if it's something you want to weigh into, let me know. Big up the chat. Saw a stat that if we count only the first half of games, United would be second with a +7 goal difference. Second half stats only have us near bottom. Yeah, TK. Yeah, TK. I did a slightly deep dive, a slight deep dive and a slight analysis of that position in my tactical analysis video, which was up yesterday. So please, guys, if you haven't checked out my latest tactical analysis video where I literally take a deep dive in our second half performances. I think I mentioned to you guys before that we have lost or drawn the second half of every single game. So we looked at all the games that we have done that, which is all the games like I just said. And I kind of analyzed some reasons why that is. And I spoke about, the fact that we sub off Casemiro around the 60th minute. I speak about the subs. I speak about maybe fatigue. I speak about the system. I basically explore different factors regarding why we absolutely fall off a cliff in the second half of games. So check that out, guys. My latest video that is out now. So I think a message of the same, get used to Ruby as we aren't changing him. Adapt or die, fans and players alike. Yeah, TK, it's true. I push back, TK. I push back on AMORIM'S system. I don't believe a system is a manager. A manager shouldn't have a fixed system. You are a football manager. AMORIM isn't the walking, talking 3-4-2-1 system. He isn't the system. He is a manager that should have a million systems, a million different formations to use. He is a football coach, not a 3-4-2-1 coach. So adapting for all of us is what is needed, including the fans. Big up Ivan in the building. Ivan in the mother effing building. Big up Ivizzle. What involvement for F's sake. We are going to drop points and blame it on evolving next. I just find this formation stuff too overcomplicated. I'm a simple guy from the 4-4-2 era. I don't get all this. Ivan, formations are important, but anything like that is important up to when it's not important, if that makes sense. Like, formations and tactics and systems are important, but the most important thing above all that is just mark your man, work hard, follow your runner, match the other team's intensity, and that is the basic. That stuff is much more important than the systems and the formations. It is. These new coaches and new managers that are doing all of these kinky stuff, Ivan, these kinky coaches, they think they've invented football, bro. They really think they have invented football, Ivan, and that we've not seen this stuff before. This manager and his route one, kick the ball to our strikers and our number 10s, our direct football, that's not new, bro. That's what we were playing. That's Stoke football. We were doing that 20 years ago in the Premier League. So let's not be confused with what these guys are doing. These guys who think they're slick with their slick formations, bro. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to other things. Let me know what you guys are feeling about this. I find this very strange, guys. So we've been told that Man United have asked their staff to stop posting unauthorized content from the club's behind the scenes things behind the scenes, movement behind the scenes, just behind the scenes in general. Stop posting content that you've not been given permission to post. Man United apparently believe that there are too many unauthorized images being made public, and it got me thinking. Hold on, like what? But then again, I think about things like Aiden Heaven recording the guys dancing in the changing rooms. That might not be authorized to be sent out. I feel like now with social media, I guess players are taking little snaps, taking little images, taking little videos here or there in the change rooms and whatnot, and that's not been authorized. I don't actually know how important this story actually is or what to make of this story. The only thing I'm thinking is Man United obviously want to control the narrative. Nothing that comes out of Man United, or everything that comes out regarding Manchester United, they want to, as much as possible, control the narrative of that. So they don't want one of their players or members of staff to just post anything that they haven't seen, that hasn't been vetted, that hasn't gone through their sort of stringent process. They want to control everything. So in one way, I'm like, no, I like the fact that players now have a bit of autonomy to just take pictures and post them and whatnot. But at the same time, I do understand, because if you work for a firm, I work for a business, I can't just post up any photos of me and myself in the business that I want. So I do get it, but at the same time, I'm just like, what's going on here? What's going on here? So I don't know. I don't have too strong opinion on this. If I'm being honest, yeah, my opinion on this is not very strong. Let me see what guys are talking about. Sausage Express saying stability was lacking for the last few years. TK saying United are strong for 45 minutes. I can only last 3 minutes. That's you, TK. Me? 1 hour. If we won all games, we would be in top of the league. That's a quick. Ivan's taking liberties. Well done, Ivan. It's true. If you won all games, we would have won the league. If, buts, maybes, hypotheticals, right? I'm going to invent the 2-3-1-4. It's going to evolve as well. Ivan, I know, banter aside, but like I said, bro, these guys are acting like they created football. You know, Turkish says, brother, I'm ready to go back to the beginning and do a 1-1-8. That's funny. I know 1-1-8. The way English teams used to set up in the early days of organized ball. That's funny. All right, cool. This is quite interesting, guys. Let me know, people, what you're saying about this news about Malacia. For me, it is a bit strange. This is a bit strange, people. Anyway, Laurie Whitwell seems to be on one. So once again, this is from your friend Laurie. At the end of the transfer window, Ruben Amorim asked the players for their opinion on Tyrell Malacia. So this is not new news. I hate saying new news. This is not new news. This is old news. Fake news. Anyway, this is old news. So once again, you got to ask yourself, why is this coming out now when apparently this happened at the start, or the end, should I say, of the transfer window? You can attribute it to the fact that we're in international break and the journalists are just like, oh shit, we need some news. Oh shit, we need some news with the house. Malacia, but that's 2-3 months ago. We can't. Yes, we can. Yes, we can bring it up. So anyway, here it is. They had a vote about bringing Malacia back, and apparently, people, the squad voted in favor of his reinstatement, and Amorim took their view into account. There's a few things I want to say. The first thing I want to say is this: what did he do, Malacia, do wrong to need a vote from the other players to return back to the team? Because as far as I'm concerned, guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, Malacia was just seen as he's put in the bomb squad. He was asked to leave because we got 2 left wing backs already. He had a knee injury. It's nothing to do with his attitude, with his application. He had a very serious knee injury and he just hasn't recovered from that knee injury, and we want to replace him. So he hasn't actually done anything specifically wrong. So why would you need a vote from the other players to accept him back in the squad? Why would you need their opinion on him? That is absolutely, in my opinion, crazy. Imagine, yeah, your boss coming to you and saying, "Oh, we're going to vote on someone joining our team that was part of our team last year, and we were told that was going to leave, but he hasn't left, so now we're going to give you the right to vote for him to come back." What the hell? Vote for what? Bring him back. It doesn't mean he has to start. It doesn't mean he has to play, but training with the squad, being part of the squad, what? How does it hurt? This is very, very strange. Why is Ruben Amorim making the players vote? And imagine if you are one of those players. Thing that we don't understand is that the players are like this. They train together, they eat together. You're not going to say no to any other player returning, because you know that if you are in that same position as Malacia, you would hate for your teammates to sit around and say, no, this guy can't come back. You would absolutely hate that. So I just find this story personally quite strange, guys, that they voted on whether to bring Malacia back. And even if I think Laurie Whitwell is lying here, Laurie Whitwell is reporting on something that he has been told to report on. So he's been fed this information by a reputable source, apparently at the club, right? That's how this works. So Man United want this information out there. Very, very strange, guys. Let me know if you have an opinion on this topic. Perhaps you don't, but I don't know. I just find it weird. What are we doing? Some vote into, bro? I don't know. I don't know. So big up, people. That's the Malacia stuff. Like I said, very strange. Ivan says, "F Malacia alive, bro." Everyone's forgotten about Malacia. Is Malacia better than Dorgu? Is Malacia better than Dalot? And I don't mean this better. Is Malacia a better left wing back than Dalot is? And that's not even a trick question. I'm actually asking the chat this. Is Malacia a better left wing back than Dorgu? I'm actually asking. This is a genuine question, because I feel like, you know, when the whole sometimes we dislike players so much that we forget. Hold on a second. Is Malacia actually a bad player? Could he actually offer us more than Dalot offers us? Or have we forgotten about him? Is he so far away that we're not even considering Malacia? I don't know, guys. I'm literally just asking a question to my chat to get your thoughts. Sausage says, "I thought the tribe already spoke on Malacia. Wasn't he voted off the man? Like, so man was voted off. He was part of the bomb squad apparently, but he's the only one. He's the only one who survived the bomb squad, bro. Nah, ratings for surviving the bomb squad. I'll give you that. Big up Yaya in the chat. Make sure everyone big up Yaya and Dara in the building. Yaya and Dara. Anyway, sorry. Big up. Just bench Bruno for F sake and start Manu. Don't worry, I knew what you meant, Dara. I got you, man. I got you, player. Malacia is better than Dalot, says Yaya. That's the kind of conversation I want to have. It might be controversial, people, but I'm just putting it out there. We haven't thought about this. Listen, Dalot was a decent left back. Dalot won Player of the Year playing right back in, I think, Ten Hag's first season, maybe. I can't remember, but he was the Player of the Year. As a wing back, I don't know, Malacia. I don't know. Listen, people. Amorim wished the players would have said nah. Nah, I hear you though, Ivan. Probably. But why did he leave it up to the players to vote? That's the point I'm making. It's such a strange thing, guys. Big up Shivam in the building, bro. Shivs So yeah, man. What are you saying to me, Shiv? You good? Um, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't rate Dorgu. I see him being put on the transfer list after 1 or 2 seasons, says Ivan. Ivan, I respect that opinion. I understand it. I know where it's coming from. I'm giving Dorgu a bit of time, but I see enough flaws in Dorgu's game, yeah, to understand that, yeah, the criticisms of him, while I sometimes believe are a bit hasty, I understand where they're coming from because I have eyes, bro. I can see that Dorgu's end product, yeah, is not always the best. Yeah, for sure. Malacia was good until he had his drastic injury and reduced his pace. I kind of liked him, says Shivam. Dorgu will be the next Nuno. I trust him. Just give him 1 more year and he will roar. Big up, Shivam. I think Dorgu, yeah, is one of those players, yeah, that it can go either way. I think I've seen enough from Dorgu to be like, do you know what? If he just fine tunes his end product, slows down, be more composed on the ball in time, he can be a good player. But I can also see that there's loads of players like Dorgu that don't actually improve that. We want him to improve on these things, but if he doesn't evolve, he doesn't improve on these things, he could be sold in the next 2 years. So I can see Dorgu. This basically a fork, right? And I think he can go either way. So we just have to wait. We just have to wait because, like I said, physically, the physical profile of Dorgu. How did we get started on Dorgu? The physical profile of Dorgu is what we need in the Premier League. It's just the other stuff, that he needs to work on. So that's Malacia stuff, guys. I can't see Malacia playing any games for us at all. Even when AFCON starts, I can't see it. Maybe when AFCON starts, but in general, I can't see it. Anyway, once again, guys, we have this optimistic PR machine over the next 2 weeks. So brace yourself for this type of propaganda. Brace yourself for the usual 2 weeks of, last time we were having Jason Wilcox interviews and AMORIM interviews every day. Maybe not this international break, but at the same time, brace yourself for a lot of PR, a lot of positive PR, and this is one of them. But I kind of agree. Let me know if you agree with this. Manchester United players believe Champions League qualification is attainable this season. This is coming from the Telegraph and from Ducker. He's been given this information and he's putting it out there that the United players believe that Champions League qualification is attainable. Whether they get it or not, of course, we will only know in time. But attainable. And I think, yeah, of course it is. Because we know, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, is it now the top 5 that qualify for the Champions League? Right? Cool. I do not believe, yeah, that Tottenham are way ahead of us. I do not believe they are better players than us per se. I don't even believe Chelsea. Top 5, even top 5 or 6 is there for the taking, guys. There is no consistency. The only team that I see that has a bit of consistency right now is Arsenal. That's it. So we're ahead of Liverpool, I believe, or Liverpool are just 1 point ahead. Whatever. We're around Liverpool. Yeah. And there's no reason with the players that we have, if the manager does his job properly, there's no reason why we don't finish in the top 6, at least. And that's my opinion. And if we do not finish in the top 6, it means the manager has done something, in my opinion, really wrong. Sunderland are not going to be there, I don't think, by April. So I agree. I agree that Champions League qualification is attainable. So I agree with the players. And it's up to them to do it. And one thing I did say, guys, this season, especially after seeing what happened last season and me not having as much faith in the manager as some of you guys might do, I did say that with better players, we will be better, but not because really of the manager, but because we just have better players. And we're seeing this. We're seeing Brandon Bumo doing things that we know Garnacho wouldn't have done. We're seeing Brandon Bumo score headers and just getting the ball out of his feet and smacking it into the bottom corner. We're scoring goals and our XG is really high because we just have better players now. We have Brandon Bumo, who had about 20 GA last season. But I just want the manager to start improving players with his coaching now, with his system. And I still don't see that. So big up, people. Let me know if you agree with the players. Let's see what Tuanzebe's saying, guys. Let's see what Tuanzebe's saying quickly. We saw this story before. Let's find out what is happening, what the updates regarding Tuanzebe and the medical negligence stuff. If you guys remember, Tuanzebe has had a lot of injuries in his career, and he's essentially blaming Manchester United's medical staff and Man United in general for medical negligence. The injuries that he had playing for Man United have kind of followed him. And I did say when this story initially came out, guys, that there's loads of players, the Martials, the Pogbas of this world, that died, broke their bodies by playing for this club. They played through injury. Oli was playing all of these guys through injury. And that's another reason why I'm sad about the treatment of likes of Martial and Pogba, especially when we used to complain about their injuries. And I used to say to people, these guys are playing for the football club through injury all the time, the likes of Martial and Pogba, putting their careers on the line. And when they get injured, you guys cry even more. But then the likes of Luke Shaw can spend a whole year just out, just relaxing, eating burgers, while we have to rush Pogba back and injure him again. But you don't see that as a sacrifice that he's made. You don't see it as that. So I'm very passionate when it comes to these sort of things. Anyway, let's read into the story a bit more. Manchester United have been accused of harming the career of former player Axel Tuanzebe by failing to treat an injury, according to a $1 million lawsuit obtained by Sky News. This is now pushing ahead, this lawsuit. And as I said before, as much as no one is really talking about this as much, and no one maybe care about it, if this goes ahead and let's say, we go to court and he wins, what does this do for football, people? This will be, that case that everyone has to refer to in court, that refer to this case, the Tuanzebe case, blah, blah, blah. This will be the first case of its type, maybe. And if Tuanzebe wins, people, I think this will open up a kind of worms is not the right term, but this will open up new avenues. We've not seen this before. And if he wins, my lord, the clubs will be terrified now. They will make sure that their medical departments are proper and thoroughly vetted. The people that they have in there are qualified. It's going to put a lot of attention and focus on the players' health. Because at the moment, nobody cares about the players' health. They're playing 100 million, trillion, zillion games a year. They're playing Champions League, then they're playing this, and they're playing that. Then again, they're getting flown over to Saudi to play games, and then friendlies and international breaks. The players are playing loads of games, right? And they're breaking down because that's what happens. So let's pay attention to this, guys, because even outside of football, this could have a big impact on a lot of things if he wins this. So that's it. Let me know what you're thinking, people, if anything. Shivam says, no, let me read up there. Ivan says, as a Swede, I've always been told you can't trust the Danish and Norwegians. Shivam says, yes, I hope this international break doesn't break the momentum created for United. I hear that, Shivs. Dara says, Dorgu pocketed Brendan Johnson, but again, that's not hard. Yeah. I've never understood Brendan Johnson as a footballer. But Dorgu physically is very hard to beat Dorgu for pace. Let's put it that way, or for strength. I finally got my red home jersey, says Shivam. Big up, Shivam. How much did you spend on that, Shivam? And also, Shivam, have you got the away one? Because I like the home one, but the not the away one, the third one. The third one just, yeah, bro. I spent £100 for the third kit, you know. That's absolutely crazy. No. Let me rephrase. I spent £100 for the third kit jersey. Not the shorts and the shirt and the socks, just the jersey. Man United, yeah, my gosh, bro. I remember, like I've spoken about this before, when shirts, football shirts, guys, were like £30, bro. Like it's crazy what's going on with football. What's going on all over the world, all over the world when it comes to money and how much things are costing, to be fair. Yaya says, let's go to Europa first. We do not have players yet. They can't play full 90 minutes, says Yaya. The thing about Yaya is that we strip the squad down and this manager won't even play Manu and Xerxes. So we literally have like 13 players or 14 players that we pick from every single game. So in that sense, playing Champions League football, we need a deeper squad for sure. For sure. All right, cool. Let's read on, guys, quickly. Casemiro. What a season Casemiro is having, people. And I'm not saying we need to keep him forever. And I'm not even saying we need to keep him past this year, to be fair. I'm not even saying that. But I'm just acknowledging that he's having a good season. And in fact, the only time he wasn't having a good season, the only season that he wasn't that good in was probably last season. Last season, at the start of last season, when, you know, when everyone was blaming him for everything. And just last season in general, because nobody was good last season, maybe except for Lenny Euro and Ahmad, were the only like two players that were consistently putting in performances last season, right? But I've always liked Casemiro, and I've always said Casemiro was never blessed with pace in the first place. He was never the quickest person for Madrid. Casemiro is very good in a low block or mid block. If you're playing really expansively and you beat Casemiro, yeah, it means you've gone past him. He's not going to catch you. The issue with Casemiro is his speed across the grass. He's not very quick on the grass. In the Premier League, you need that. You need that. That's his issue. He's a better midfielder than Bruno, much better. He understands the role much better, plays the position much better. He is fundamental. In this team right now, the way that we're playing, Casemiro is fundamental. He is pivotal. And I've explained it in my latest tactical analysis. The stats don't lie. 20 goals conceded in the Premier League, 15 of them have come when Casemiro's been off the pitch. 75% of the goals we have conceded as a football club this season has been when Casemiro's not been on the pitch. I've always reminded people this. The first season he was here, our defensive record was absolutely immense. When he was sitting at the base of that midfield, yeah, with in front of Varane and in front of Martinez, the Ten Hag's first season, when we finished in the top 4, he was absolutely immense that season. Vital. And I don't forget these things. I'm not somebody who just goes, oh, Casemiro's crap now all of a sudden, because Ten Hag wants to play him in the midfield by himself, play a 3-1-6, play him in the midfield by himself, and all of a sudden he's now rubbish. No, I'm tired of systems making players look bad, and then fans looking at systems making players look bad and saying that the player is bad. No, the player hasn't changed. He's now playing in a different system, which is making him look crap. He hasn't changed much himself. And that is something I really want to drive home, especially with regards to this community. We need to be able to assess a footballer's ability, how good they are, independent from the system that they're playing in. We have to be able to look at someone's attributes and be like, they are good, but the system is not helping them, rather than relying on the system to make or break the player, to define what your view of the player is. And that is fundamentally wrong. And in my opinion, it's the wrong way to look at football. But you guys know me. You guys know me by now. I have very, very strong opinions on a lot of things. So let's get back to this Casemiro story in general. I've waxed lyrical about him for the past 5 minutes. But even though I've done that, I don't necessarily believe that he needs to be staying here. I still believe that Man United, because you can hold two different opinions at the same time. I still feel like we need to be building for the future. If we can build for the future, keep Casemiro for another season, cut his wages in half, because he's getting over 300 grand. That's a big thing. Cut his wages in half at least. Keep him there to teach the who's Brighton midfielder, Baleba. Teach Baleba, because at the end of the day, guys, Baleba is good technically, but Baleba doesn't have this up here. Casemiro's experience and understanding of I need to track this player back, I need to follow my runner, all these things that Casemiro just does automatically because it's in his DNA. His defensive awareness, maybe keep him around for 1 year so that shit can be rubbed off on Baleba, on Adam Wharton, on what's his other guy called? Anderson. That knowledge, that experience, you can't get it again anywhere else. You can't. So it is what it is. I think I've spoken enough now. My monologue is good. All right. So this is exclusive from Graham Bailey. United have made contact with Casemiro's camp and floated the idea of a contract extension. Also, remember that is, I think he's got 1 year. You can trigger the 1 year extension on his contract anyway without having to give him a new contract, I believe. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys. Correct me. Casemiro is receptive to the idea of staying, but the club have made it clear that the terms of a deal would have to be very different to his current contract, which is what I said. United are looking at a performance-based deal with a drastically reduced contract that has substantial appearance fees built in. Both sides are yet to finalize any figures, but talks have been positive with both player and club willing to find an agreement. Casemiro's data continues to impress staff, which is another reason he is staying, which his stay is being considered. I did say, guys, that I've explained to you the data. The data regarding Casemiro is black and white. He is pivotal, right? That's it. End of story. And this football club, especially Amorim, he loves data. We're being more data-driven now than ever before. So, like I said, if it is 1 year extension, half his wages, be there to play one or two games here or there, come on as a sub, support the Andersons, give them, make Anderson and Balebas and all these guys, if we buy them, the experience that Casemiro has can't be taught. I'm not against all of that. I'm not completely against Maguire. I prefer if we got a replacement for both of these players. But if you told me that Maguire, once again, half his wages, pay him 100 grand a week, tell him he's not going to play every game, play here or there, I'm not against it. So big up the chat. Let me know what you... All right. So apparently, since we've been talking, more things have been coming out. So apparently this is the Brazilian journalist, as you guys can see on your screen, that is now saying that he doesn't think Casemiro is willing to take a pay cut at Manchester United. And that's the case, cool. He can leave. It's not deep for me. So it is what it is, guys. He's also done an interview himself, Casemiro, where his wife's spoken about him spending more times with the kids and stuff. So I don't know. It is what it is. I think I've spoken about it enough now, guys. So let me know what you guys think about Casemiro staying. Ivan says, can I obtain a lawsuit for 13 years of depression? Ivan, that's where we're going. And if you can, listen, I'll do more than that. It's been 13 years, isn't it? What? Almost, yeah, practically, right? 13 years of depression. Ivan's funny, bro. Um, oh no, imagine Arsenal says yeah. The Arsenal lawsuit will bankrupt Arsenal. It will bankrupt Arsenal and Cronky. Um, oh, Leacher. Um, Leach is, from what I know, Yaya Leacher is still injured, but he is fit enough to now fly out to the Argentina squad. So last time I checked, Leacher will be training for the next 2 weeks with the Argentina squad. So he's getting there. If Man United have given him permission, which it seems like they have, to fly out with Argentina and train with them, it must. And we know he's training almost like 80% with the squad. He's not doing everything that they're doing, but he's doing most of it. He's close. Leach is close, people. He's close. Um, the question I have asked you, Yaya, is what do you think will happen when he's fit? How many games will he play? Are you concerned, as I am, with his lack of pace that is needed in that defense? And even though we've tried to disprove this and we've said that it doesn't matter as much, I think the way that the Premier League has changed and the way that the Premier League now relies on set pieces more than ever, I think his lack of height, will become more of a problem now than it ever was before. I think Varane Varane was our best defender when he was playing with Varane. He was aggressive, Leacher, very aggressive, but Varane helped Leacher so much. So many times I saw Leacher get skinned and Varane was there to sweep up. So I don't know what you guys are thinking about Leacher, even when he returns, even when he's fit. Even when he's fit. Um, yeah, cool. The problem is, will he reject oil money, Casemiro? Well, yeah, apparently the Saudis have already thrown money at Casemiro, and he's already said no a few years ago or last year. So I don't know. I don't know. Dara says, I think if we don't get a wing back and a proper midfielder, we won't get Champions League. Mm. Is that the? So you guys have no faith in Ugarte or Kobe? I don't know, man. I feel like the manager could do something better with the players that he has. I feel like the players that we have, the manager can do more. And I don't even buy into the fact that we necessarily need anything to get into Champions League or to get top six. I just feel like the manager needs to stop. Needs to do more. He needs to do more because this halftime thing, the second half record that we have is absolutely abysmal, and I don't even think it's a personnel issue per se. Not fully. Not fully. Anyway, guys, quickly moving on. On this is about Anderson. Anderson has been, can we say, without being hyperbolic or exaggerating, can we say that Anderson has been a revelation this season? Or am I being a bit naive, people? Because I don't remember or didn't really pay attention to Anderson last season. He's not a footballer that I heard a lot about, and all of a sudden I'm hearing everything about this Anderson guy. And I've watched him play. Of course, Foresters, they played us, and he was really good. But I'm just like, hold on a second. He's having a somewhat decent season now, and all of a sudden, I'm supposed to believe that he's now worth 100 to 120 million pounds. Somebody slap me, please. I think I need somebody slap me because I'm just like, what in this post-truth, crackedish Donald Trump world, we're living in, where this Anderson guy is now worth in the region of 100 to 120 million pounds, bro. Like, what? I don't know. At the end of the day, they were saying 100 million for Baleba. And right now, Baleba's looking like, I don't even know what Baleba's looking like right now. But this is the news, guys. Man United. Oh, remain keen on Anderson, apparently, you know, and Forest are saying 100 to 120 million pounds. Ah, guys, what are we gonna do, man, with this Man United tax business? That is it. I don't know. Anyway, Ben Jacobs is coming out, or has come out just now, actually. So this is just new. Yeah, we love new news. We love breaking stuff while we are live. Man United want 2 midfielders next year. Cool. We're going to be told that we're going to get these. By the way, every single person that's saying January, we're going to. Bro, I'm telling you this. Let me tell you a secret. Manchester United are not spending no 100 million pounds, yeah, in January to get no Balebas, no Wharton, none of this shit. Yeah, understand what this is. I am reporting on it and we'll talk about it, but please do not get brainwashed or manipulated to believe that we're going to do this stuff in January. No, we are not. There's no Nottingham Forest. There's nobody who's going to give away one of their top midfielders in January. All these clubs are trying to play in Europa Leagues and Champions Leagues and stuff, and they're going to give away their players. Do you think Brian's going to sell Bleba in Jan? No, 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 no. Anyway, Angelo Stiller is probably the one player that we could actually get because he's not playing in this league and he's not being touted at £100 million. Anyway, he goes on to say, Ben Jacobs, Angelo Stiller is high in Man United's thinking and is appreciated by Christopher Vivell and Jason Wilcox. Boom. That's all I want to know. Does Chris like him? Does Jason like him? And I know some of you guys are pessimistic a little bit with regards to Christopher and Jason. I'm not up in Yoss's batty. I'm not up there. I don't like them. I don't belong there. And I've always said this though. I've always said this though. Vivell and Wilcox here, people who have a history of finding the Phil Fodens or finding the Cole Palmers, all these guys that Wilcox, has said to have found or grown or groomed. Groomed isn't the right word, but you know what I mean. Unearthed at Man City, and all the work that Christopher Vivell has done with RB Leipzig and all the African players that RB Leipzig are finding. Christopher Vivell, I think, was the one who found Sadio Mane. He was from RB as well. So both of these guys have history of doing some good stuff. So when they say we like this player, I'm always like, cool, let me listen to them. So if we can get Angelo Stiller, I've seen him play football. He reminds me of a young Tony Kroos. He reminds me of I'm not saying he's as good, but he reminds me of a young Tony Kroos. Anyway, Elliot Anderson will be cheaper in the summer in comparison to January due to provisions in his contract to sign him. But they are complicated and variable. So we're going to keep hearing about the midfielders, Andersons, Adam Wharton. We're going to hear about them throughout the whole season. This is just going to be dripping away. I will be here again probably next week with more news about them. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know. Let me read the chat. Ivan says, "Oh, TK's got to run. Big up TK in the chat." He said Turkish. You have to give out the MVP. Ivan says, "I don't trust United. Keeping Casemiro feels like a message that they won't buy 2 top midfielders. They'll keep Miro and only buy 1, mainly maybe. Oh, Casemiro and only buy 1." I hear you, Ivan. I understand the fear. I get it. For me, it's hope. Of course, you've seen Man United spend money and get a whole new front line this summer. And I feel like next summer will be the midfield. I only hope that it's keep Casemiro for a season, but still get 2 new midfield. I can't see Bruno staying, and Ugarte is not good enough. So if we keep Casemiro, we still need to have a replacement for Ugarte and Bruno. Ugarte is Bleba. Bruno will be Adam Wharton or Anderson. replacement. And that's it. Get rid of Ugarte and Bruno and replace them with 2. Keep Casemiro for another year. Next year, replace him with Wharton. That's what I'm thinking, or at least hoping. Ivan. Yaya says 100 to 120 mil is diabolical stuff. It's better we get 2 players with that money. Yaya, I think I'm with you with that one. Let's spend 45 million on Stiller and 60 million on someone else. So with the same money, we can get 2 top midfielders. If Anderson is worth 120 million, I'm at least worth 1, says Ivan. Ivan, if Anderson's worth 120, you're worth 200. How about that, my friend? It's going to be 1 out of Anderson, Wharton, Baleba, Stiller, and Gallagher. That's what I think, says Ivan. Ivan, I'm not going to lie. What is the deal with Gallagher, guys? Help me understand. If you guys can help me understand Gallagher, just sell him. If somebody can write in a few lines here why Gallagher is good and why we should go for him, just sell Gallagher to me, someone who is not a Gallagher fan, because I don't really get it, people. But this post from Wheeler says a midfield signing in January cannot be ruled out, with Conor Gallagher seen as a possible loan option of 45 million. Is that a loan option or is it 45 million? That tweet already doesn't make sense when I'm reading it out loud. Is it a loan option? A loan with the option? Oh, right. I read it wrong. A loan essentially with an option of 45 million, right? Apparently. I don't know, guys. I really don't know about Conor Gallagher. A January deal would also allow United to explore a loan move for Kobe Mainoo, who still wants to go out on loan. Is Conor Gallagher better than Kobe Mainoo? Whenever these guys try to brainwash you and manipulate you with these sort of stuff, always think to yourself, hold on a second. Kobe going out and Conor Gallagher coming in. Is Gallagher better than Kobe? All right. Ivan rose to the task. Yaya says probably with loan to buy Connor and buy Wharton. Okay, I hear you. I hear you on that one. Ivan says Gallagher is 25-year-old English fella, Premier League experience as well as La Liga experience in a mighty Atletico. He is hungry to make the World Cup and serve his country, and United can hold his hand. Ivan, okay. This is me then, Ivan. Loan, I don't mind a loan, 6 months loan then. Let's say that you've kind of sold it to me a little bit, Ivan, but not to buy him. Let's say we can have him on loan for from January to the end of the season, and when Casemiro comes off around the 60-minute mark, we bring on Conor Gallagher, right? I don't mind that too much, but he isn't. You know, when I say from now on, every single purchase that Man United, every single signing that United make, needs to be absolutely perfect. We cannot afford to spend 85 million on Anthony to sell him 2 years in 2 years' time. 75 million on we can't afford to be spending all these big monies on players that we have to sell in 2 years' time. We can't keep doing it. So we just need to make sure that, and whenever we sign anybody, it is absolutely thoroughly researched, due diligence, the character, the mentality of the player. We understand his home life, his family life. Go back to the days where Fergie used to flip and sign personalities, as well as not just look at the football ability, but look at the personality and the character of the player, because that it also matters. That matters. So big up, people. Big up. I feel like we're coming towards the end of our news show, our midweek show. Quickly on Dalot, people. He's just come out and he said that he's changed his mindset. Initially, I didn't want to make mistakes. Now I want to do as many good things as possible. How do you interpret that, people? So he just said, I've changed my mindset. Initially, I didn't want to make mistakes. Now I want to do as many good things as possible. So it seems to me, if I'm going to interpret his words, his quote here, when you first join anywhere, a company, you worry about just doing little things and not stepping on people's toes, not making mistakes. You make yourself small, right? Because you don't want to be seen. You don't want to do anything wrong. But when you get more confident, just get used to the place, get used to what you're doing, get used to the people. You're like, cool. Yes, I don't want to do anything wrong, but I can do this now. I can do that more. So you start, rather than being negative and being in your shell, you come out your shell a bit more. You start playing with a bit more freedom. You're not so worried about doing certain things and making mistakes, because when you're worried about making mistakes, it makes you play within yourself, right? If you watch how Dalot plays, he's so aggressive. He comes out the back, whether he's playing the centre back role or whether he's playing the right centre back role, he's very aggressive. And one thing I always talk about, the right and left centre back have to be aggressive. They are extra man. They are our extra man a lot of the time. So both Dalot, if he's playing there, Len Euro, Heaven, Shaw, whoever, they need to be bombing forward and joining the midfield. They have to do that, and Dalot does that well. Dalot is now scoring goals, he's scoring headers, and it just looks like he's playing with a bit more confidence and freedom. The freedom to know that if you make a mistake, yes, you're in trouble, but take that risk. Take that risk. And we're seeing Dalot take risks. It could have been tighter at Tell's goal. That's one mistake you argue that he made when Tell scored. I think Tell probably turned him a bit too easily, in my opinion. But other than that, personally, Dalot has been one of our better players this year. I've been impressed with him defensively. I think he doesn't get as much credit as he should. And long may it continue. I think he's been really good this year. So big up Dalot. Yeah, Ivan said it. I reckon he means that he was nervous at first. Now he's confident and willing to make a change. Yeah, exactly. Ivan said it. Listen, Ivan said it in much less words than I said it. It is what it is. Some people are just good at this stuff, Ivan. Like you. But big up, people. Big up, everybody. Let's see if there's any other news that's come in. I don't think so. All right. I've been told to give you guys this information. Apparently, this is a narrative that's been put out there. It's the Athletic, which means Laurie Whitwell in a way, because I think he writes for the Athletic, doesn't he? So it says, after Man United's 3-3 draw with Porto last season, Erik ten Hag unleashed a lengthy, furious dressing room rant on discipline and mentality. Bruno and senior players asked coaches to leave for a player-only talk. Several resented Ten Hag's tone, including Diogo Dalot, who stood up and fired off a passionate, expletive-laden speech urging teammates to deliver no matter their feelings about the manager. So it's interesting. This seems like just Dalot propaganda. Because I'm like, what's the point of this? What is the point of this tweet? What is it really saying to me? I don't even understand. I mean, I do, but it's like, okay, great. So Dalot just, is this justification? Because a lot of fans are talking about Dalot. They're saying that he's not good enough. He should be sold. And they're questioning why he's in the leadership group. That narrative, that rhetoric is swarming around like bees. So I feel like this is now being put out there just to let us know why. To let us know that Dalot is a leader. And I think that this is supposed to be an example of that. So that's the reason why I think this tweet exists, to give some prop PR to Dalot. If I'm wrong, guys, let me know. But And what's the top comment on that tweet? It says, and a few weeks later, the same Diogo Dalot missed an open goal chance, just sent the manager home. Oh man. The comment section, guys, on Twitter sometimes is crazy. Twitter is an app. I'm gonna call it Twitter because fuck off X. Twitter is an app for, I don't know, man, the deranged. Yeah. We don't call it by a stripper name. I say, listen, I can't be. I shouldn't be saying these words. YouTube don't like this shit. All right, guys. Ivan says, "What are we watching this weekend, people? Boxing, UFC, international football. Oh man, I'd rather watch. I ain't gonna lie, yeah. I'd rather watch boxing than international football, bro. I'd rather watch wrestling. What's wrestling? What wrestling is going on this weekend? All right, this is apparently what we need to watch this weekend. Wait, is he back? When? For NXT? All right, guys. I watch wrestling. If you got something, if you want to watch something, just watch some wrestling, bro. Watch Obafemi. But at the same time, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really watch wrestling like that because the product over the past few years, I'm not gonna lie, even John Cena coming back and all these things, I'm just like, no, I'm not really with it. It is what it is. Who's boxing tonight? I saw is Eubank Junior boxing this weekend? I don't know. I don't know. Um, Yaya said Dallo is arse, bro. Big up Yaya, my guy. Ivan said, this is the problem, man. We have players like Dallo who think they are the shit. Yeah. It's a shame what's happened to Dallo. I thought Dallo is a decent fullback. Oh man. I remember when Dallo came to Man United, right? 5, 6 years ago. And he did a few step overs and he put a few good crosses in, but he wasn't good defensively. And a lot of us were saying we should play him as a winger, we should play him further forward, right? Dalot went on loan to AC Milan for a year, came back and he was a lot better defensively. A couple of years later, he won our Player of the Year. But now that he's been asked to play wing back, he's been asked to be more attacking. He's been asked to take his man on. He's been asked to do a lot more attacking wise. We're now seeing the limitations of Dalot. He's very limited going forward. Very limited. The problem with Dalot is he thinks he's the GOAT because he is playing with Cristiano. Says Yaya. Dalot is the unemployed guy who lectures you about how to get a job. Yeah. I might have to watch that still. I knew it because I know Eubank Senior has been doing the rounds, innit? He's been doing the media rounds, and obviously, you know me, I'm Jamaican, and I love the way because I'm the same. I have my voice that I'm speaking in now, and I have my normal voice. Yeah, so I love when Eubank Junior is like yes and then yes and my son and in a spec and he'd be like, what the bum what I'm here, man? What the bum club? What I'm here, boy? Hmm? Yeah, I eat that. I like that because us Jamaicans we do that very well. We switch in and out of our nice English accents back into our patois. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Why is Obafemi just on my screen? Look at Obafemi. Looking scary. Which international team do you support? All right, Yaya. This is it. I am born Jamaican, raised in England. So naturally, yeah, my allegiance is with two countries. The country that I was raised, yeah, this country. So when England play, of course I want England to be successful. I want England to do well. Jamaica are not really a footballing nation like that. But if Jamaica was in the World Cup, and I hope they are, I think they can still qualify. I will be 99% Jamaica and 1% England. But it's really both. It's really both countries. All in all, I'm not overly that bothered when it comes to international football. I am a Man United fan, right? So international football and countries and all these things, I'm not as concerned personally. I like France. You know, out of all the European teams, France is probably the team that I like the most. Probably because Pogba's and Kante's and all these players. But yeah, Umbumo needs dreads, says Sausage. Umbumo needs to go Turkey first. Let Sausage let man go Turkey first. Regrow his hair, do his thing. I know he's got the money to do it. The same way all the Brazilians are getting all their teeth done. Yeah. Go to Turkey, get your hair sorted, and then you can come. You can come to the lock side and get your locks. That haram sausage. Sausage says, I support every team that's not Spain, Portugal, or Italy. You're funny, bro. Yaya says Portugal all day. Yaya, I bet you support Portugal because of Ronaldo. Ah, boo, boo, yeah. And I'm joking, Yaya. And Kenya, obviously. Are Kenya qualifying? I've Kenya qualified for the World Cup. Yeah. Have they? All right, guys. Nice chat, nice show. That's all the news that I could find that's happened over the last few days. Slow week, international break, but we still got a bit of updates, bit of news, bit of conversation starters. Yeah, nice show. I don't give the MVP awards, so I'll let Turkish give out. I think you've already given it out. Have you? Oh, Ivan. So Ivan is the MVP today. When the channel grows, we need to start doing stuff for MVPs, I wish this channel was monetized so I can start doing cash stuff. Maybe not. I don't know. Ivan says, I used to support Sweden. We humiliated ourselves in the qualifiers. I still supported them. Then we hired Graham Potter, and now I'm nationless. Oh no, what did Graham Potter do? I'm sorry, Ivan. That's a good point. Sausage has opened up something that these kind of conversations that I like, Sausage. These sort of like critical thinking, sort of hyper conversation. Like, why doesn't India, a country with 1 point whatever billion people, but neither does China. Cultural stuff. You got to think about the culture. The culture of the countries. They don't take football seriously. There. Access to things. I mean, cricket is is a major sport in India. Like athletics is a major sport in Jamaica. But then Jamaicans are, Raheem Sterling's Jamaican, Bailey. We have loads of people that, of course, that are black in this country from a Jamaican descendant, you know. But yeah, that's a very interesting question. My dad is Indian, my mom is Swedish. Honestly, India funds their cricket only. They don't really give a damn about football. That's why. Yeah, because I can't. If we're not saying it's cultural, then we're gonna verge into territory like Indians can't play football. Then I'm never gonna do that because football is just you and a football. There's nothing to do with your skin. So it's culture more than anything, and access as well. That's it. I mean, if you live in England, you can't go anywhere in this country without a football pitch. I think we fail to understand how many football pitches are just around the place. There's a lot of football pitches in it's Power League, five-a-side. It's just there all the time, everywhere in this country. So it's just part of the culture. Yaya said Chinese beat Germany. No, Yaya's making a good point though, because I'm not saying the Chinese are terrible at football. I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying that if you just think of data, think about numbers. You should if you got that many people playing football, in your country, and if football was the #1 sport, yeah, in China with 1.7 billion, the Chinese would be a lot better at football. That's what it is. Well, corruption could be a part of it, but as we all understand, corruption is everywhere. In fact, the most corrupt governments are often the Western governments, as we know. They just hide their corruption within laws and legal stuff. You know, it's okay for us to do this because it's written down on this piece of paper. But big up, TK says I'm back for the end of the show. Oh no, TK. Oh shit, TK, I'm sorry. Especially the conversation we're just having, man. TK just came out with that. I can't even repeat what you said because, yeah, I just can't do it on YouTube. But big up the chat. Big up TK, Ivan, Sausage, Yaya. Yeah, man, big up all the chat. Everyone who jumped in. Dara, all the new guys. Big yourself up, people. It's been a good show. Good Wednesday show. Got a lot of stuff. Got a lot of information. Spoke about a lot of things. And yeah, good show. Big up yourselves. The next show, of course, will be on Friday, 7:15. The time Friday. I might upload a short or something between then. As I said before, don't forget to check out my latest video about United's second half struggles on my channel. I'm probably gonna push that really hard and promote that as I always do my tactical videos. I like to do the tactical stuff a lot. So big up yourselves. Have a good evening. And as usual, I will see doing the Mbumo Selly right now. Oi, you know how I started the whole Mbumba clout, and I'm not saying it's taken off because I don't really hear too many people say it. But if you ever hear anyone say Mbumba clout, yeah, remember that it's from this chat, yeah. But we're doing a thing, yeah, where we're trying to start a name, yeah, for Ahmad and Mbumo, right? We're trying to start a name. So I'm saying Ahmad and Mbumo are either going to be called Amo, get it? Ahmad and Mbumo, Amo, or what we saying? What's the other one? Mbad. Mbad, you know, right? Obviously, Mbad. So it's either going to be Amo or Mbad. That's it. What are we doing? The reason why the Mbad makes you laugh, yeah, because obviously, when I think of Mbad, I think of Michael Jackson. Let's be real. When I think of Mbad, yeah, I'm thinking of Mbad, Mbad, I'm really, really bad. You know I'm bad, Mbad, you really, really, you know I'm bad. Oh, one has to answer right now when I tell you once again, bad. Ammo. TK says ammo. Ammo. Bing, 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 bing. Yeah. Ammo sounds militant. We're coming for next. We got AKs. Like M16. You know. Don't worry, man. I play Call of Duty. I know the names of these things. But yeah. So these stuff are above my pay grades. Conversations about Discord and these things are above my IT intelligence level. But my IT guy, the guy who helps me do all of this stuff, he will set up a Discord next week, I think. So we're looking to set one up next week, guys. Lucky Star by Madonna, if you sing, please. Ammo, aka ammunition, African general. All right, you man like ammo. I like ammo as well, to be honest. So it is what it is, guys. So all right, let's see if we can get it trending. And if anyone gets it trending, once again, we all know where it comes from, innit? This little channel, you know, this little man channel. Cause if we can get some things started, some words trending, Them people that know it come from this little channel, then them know what big things are going on. Then them know what big things are going on. So big up on yourself, big up on a blood clot self, respect. What he said. Just glad that Spaz guy isn't a guest anymore. The guy with no power. Who? Spaz. TK. You know me. My brain's like tick tick tick. Spaz guy. Do you mean Mains? The guy? You mean? Or you saying BB? Oh, Mains, 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 Mains. That's funny. Mains. Yeah. Mains just. Yeah. Let's move. Let's turn the page. TK. You gotta try some stuff, man. You know, and I'm still listen. Don't get twisted. I still want my show. One thing that this channel could do with, let's be honest, guys, many things. It's still a new channel, so many things we need to improve. Many things. But one of the things we do will be nice is I don't mind speaking. I can do this. This is what I do, right? But I know it will be good if my views were challenged and I chopped it up with a few people. So that is something that I'll keep saying I'm working on. As soon as he left, we doubled the sound. TK, no. Let's not do that. How do you guys feel about Arsenal fan takeover? Because I know so many Arsenal fans, yeah, that I could bring on the show and all these things, give different perspectives, male or female. So that's easy. That's easy. So all right then, guys. Big up yourselves. Big up the chat. Big up everybody. Have a good Wednesday evening, and I will see you guys on Friday. And we